It's very likely if you own a pair of AirPods, you're probably not using it at its full potential. So in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you 20 amazing things you could do with a set of AirPods. So although we're using AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case, some of these will still apply even on the first generation AirPods, and it doesn't matter if you have the wireless charging case or not. Now with that said and clarified, let's get started. Now with that H1 chip or W1 chip, depending on the device, you may think that these are only dedicated or made just to be paired with an Apple device. That's not entirely true. Although it is really convenient when it comes to connecting these for the first time, as it's a very simple process, and it not only does that, it automatically links across all your other Apple devices under your same iCloud account. So this includes your Apple TV. On the remote, if you hold down the TV icon for a few seconds and go into the AirDrop, and right here, you should be able to scroll down, as long as you have the lid open, and select the AirPods like so. And you could mute your television, and this way you don't disturb others around while you're enjoying the content that you're watching. And on a Mac computer, you could just click on the volume icon, and you'll see the AirPods right there, and you can quickly connect to them without having to do the whole entire pairing process. But for the second one, with that said, it's not strictly just used for Apple devices. You can use this on whatever. To this day, these AirPods are still probably one of the best sounding microphone on any true wireless earbud. So if you're on an Android device, all you really gotta know is to pair these AirPods to other Bluetooth devices. Just open up the lid, press and hold the pair button on the back until the white LED begins flashing. When it begins flashing, just go in Bluetooth discovered devices and connect. And if you actually are doing this on an Android device, on an Android phone, there's actually awesome third-party apps that will actually give you back some of these AirPod features on that device. I went ahead and cover all that in the separate video. You could click on the right hand corner right there if you want to go ahead and watch that. Maybe later on. It will also be in the description as well, if you wish to find out more on that. But let's say you want to use these on a gaming console like a Nintendo Switch or even an Xbox or PlayStation. There's also walkarounds, how you can actually utilize that microphone if you actually want to go ahead and use that for like party chat and such. I covered that also in a separate video with greater detail, which you could go ahead and watch right there in the right hand corner. Now if you go into your Bluetooth settings and tap the little eye icon to your AirPods, don't forget both the left and the right hand side can be fully customizable, as you have these selections to choose from. So you could make the left ones play, pause, skip next track or previous track, or you could just turn it off entirely. And then while we're at it, since we're still on this tab, might as well rename your AirPods. This way it doesn't cause any confusion, because a new feature that got innovated for iOS 13 is the audio sharing, which I'm going to go ahead and show you that in a little bit. But still on this page, if you want to, you can disable the auto ear detection. By disabling this, if you actually remove an AirPod out of your ear, it's not going to pause or automatically resume back as soon as you place your earbud back. The reason why I prefer sometimes to have this off is because, let's say for example, your buddy's next to you and they don't have AirPods of their own, so you really can't do the audio sharing. This way you could literally take one off and give it to your buddy without pausing the audio. But sometimes I find this extremely useful whenever I'm at the gym. I don't have my little charging case with me. I could just take the AirPod out and put it in my pocket without triggering the sensors. So that's what that does, and those are some of the benefits. Now below that, you see the microphone. Right now I have it on automatic, which means whatever AirPod is equipped on your ear first, that's going to be the dedicated microphone. But if you're one of those business folks that have a preference microphone, you go actually make it dedicated. So if you just want the right AirPod to always be the microphone for your business calls, that's how you could assign them. Now more of that audio sharing. Again, this was a new feature for iOS 13 for the AirPods. Let's say for example you're on a long flight and your buddy happens to have their pair of AirPods on them. And whatever you're listening to, let's play some music. While you're playing the song, if you actually go down in the control center, if you tap on the little AirDrop icon right here and press and hold, tap on it again, you can actually select audio sharing, and with their pair of AirPods, they could just open up the lid, you can select it, and literally begin audio sharing. And you can notice you can actually adjust the audio levels right here as well. This works on even third-party applications, so if you're watching a movie, that works just fine, and there's no audio delay. But now let's say for example you have an Apple Watch and you have some music stored into its storage and you also want to listen to it. To quickly connect your AirPods to the Apple Watch, simply tap on the screen, wake it up, press and hold down like so. This will bring the control center. You could do this on any application, so it doesn't matter where you are on the watch, you're always able to launch this. Also on the Apple Watch, if you actually go onto the battery life percentage, you can also see the battery life stats of those AirPods. Other ways you could check the battery life stats, if you actually wake up Siri, you can actually ask Siri to know what the battery life stats of your AirPods are that way. Or on your iPhone, hopefully you already done this, but if you haven't already, there's a widget where you can actually see the battery life stats right here. If you need to add this, simply just go down, tap edit on the widget, and hit plus on the battery icon, tap done, and you should be able to see it right there. You can also rearrange it as well. In my opinion, this is a much more convenient method instead of just opening up the lid, because you need the case to be next to you to check the battery life stats. Which reminds me, Siri does have a couple of sleeves up its sleeve with the AirPods. If you're on AirPods 2, there's hands-free Hey Siri functionality. So by simply saying the sentence, hey, I'm just gonna wait a little bit, Siri, the voice assistant, will automatically pop up and you should be able to request anything you like to do. So like, remind me in 30 minutes to finish this video, and Siri will create that reminder right away. I find this feature extremely useful, especially when I'm at the gym, when I don't have my phone nearby and something happens that I have to take care of pretty soon. I just make quick reminders like this. And then if you're on a first gen AirPods, you're not entirely left out. By simply double tapping, this will also launch your series depending on the customization you selected. Then if worse comes to worse and you accidentally lost your AirPods or lost a AirPod, you can ask Siri to help find it, as it's going to begin to play a loud noise so you can quickly locate them. Note, this only works if the AirPods are out of the case. If they're inside the case, they're not going to play any sound. But if you don't want to verbally ask Siri to find your AirPods, you can always go into the Find My app, and here, select the AirPods and play sound. But notice on here you have more controls. You can actually select to play sound on the left or the right side individually. And on the mini map, it will also mark down the last time the AirPods were connected, so you can quickly backtrack and locate them faster. Now, though volume controls aren't innovated on the AirPods, including the AirPods Pro, there's no volume controls whatsoever, but if you have an Apple Watch, you could just use the digital crown to adjust the audio if you select the Now Playing app. But you can still verbally request Siri to adjust the volume level this way as well, in case you don't have your phone on you. Now, live listening is a nifty little spy tool, I'll describe it. It was a previously added new feature on the previous iOS, where by simply swiping down the control center, you see this little ear icon. If you select this and you have AirPods connected or other Bluetooth headphones connected to your device, when enabled, the microphone on our phone, as an example, will actually transfer the audio from the microphone to your headphone. So in other words, if you leave your phone in a different room, you could hear anything that goes around it. So that's a nifty way to use this feature, but a creative way you could also utilize this. You know how AirPods Pro has that transparency mode and the standard AirPods do not? You can also enable this and play your audio and it mixes the two together so you can actually hear your surroundings. So that's a nifty way to simulate that. So if you don't have this enabled and you want to, simply just go into your settings, go down to Control Center, Customize Control Center, and just go down, tap the plus icon next to the ear, and you can move it like so, and you can also rearrange it, but it should be on your Control Center once it's already equipped. Now when it comes to the audio quality of the AirPods, it's debatable. I think they're good, but if you want to get more, depending on a genre you prefer listening to, I definitely recommend if you go into your settings, go down to music, and tap on the EQ. Play with this while your music is playing, and play with this until you find the perfect EQ that you personally like. Once you're satisfied, down here where you see volume limit, you can actually set a volume limit if, let's say, you're giving these AirPods to your kid or something, you don't want them to damage your ear. Another interesting thing I want to quickly highlight is Soundcheck. What Soundcheck allows you to do is, let's say for example, you're listening to rock, heavy metal rock, and then the next track happens to be jazz. For whatever said reason, I'm not going to criticize you, but you do you. But if you may imagine, it's going to go super loud and then it's going to go super quiet. With Soundcheck enable, it makes sure the sound levels match the next track is about to play, so you're not blasted by a heavy metal rock as soon as the next track comes into play. So if your playlist has a lot of different genre songs in one playlist, this is how you eliminate that from shocking yourself as soon as the next track goes into play. Now if you accidentally put the wrong set of AirPods or mix match two different types of AirPods together that's not yours, or maybe it's the first generation AirPods like in our case, this little card will pop up, identifying which one's which so you can quickly correct and resolve the issue. Now the last thing I want to talk about is, I'm pretty sure we all experienced this once. You place on your AirPods and it doesn't automatically connect. This is common. To force the AirPods to connect is simply bring down the control center, similar to like the share audio feature. Tap the little AirDrop icon, and then manually select the AirPods and it should connect right away. And there we have it. If you have a pair of AirPods, those are 20 things you could do with them that you may or may not have known. Make sure to stay tuned for the accessory video of these AirPods, as that's coming up really soon. But in the meantime, if you want to watch the previous video, you can go ahead and watch that right here. And then that video over here, that is just a video that YouTube thinks you're gonna like. So also, go ahead and give that a watch and let me know in the comments if YouTube was right. Anyway folks, thank you so much for watching. Take care and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.